The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, morrismedialive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
We on? I forgot to color my mustache. Oh, Lord. I'm getting it colored today anyway. I forgot to color my mustache. I look like Famous Amos. Hey, how y'all doing? I'm getting my hair colored today, so it'll be dark. So there you go. Hi, I'm Lewis Dix. I'm by myself. Okay, as you can see, I'm in a tie and shirt because I had to go to the memorial service of a good friend of mine, rest in power, Kevin King, who was, I've known him for over 20-something, 30 years. He was a handyman mechanic. He's the kind of guy in the neighborhood that could fix everything, but never to code. He would call in-rigging it. It was always something loose once he fixed it. But when you didn't have any money, but you needed a carburetor or you needed an alternator put in, Kevin would do it for cheap. And that's how you survived. Everyone has guys like that in the neighborhood. So Kevin was that guy for me, for a lot of people. And I had to honor him today by going to the service. And I had to leave, but it was kind of a ghetto service anyway. But it was with love, I'm sure. He's gone. I had spoken to him on the phone when he was in the hospital. And he was telling me how the nurse looked just like me, and then he put him on the phone, and Kevin was a conspiracy theorist. I mean, he was one of those street ghetto guys that knew everything about nothing, but knew nothing about everything. I mean, he was, and we laughed so much, so I'm gonna miss him, and it was cool. And then on my way here, I get some crazy news, which I can't talk about right now, but. It's the reason I'm by myself. So shout out to everyone. Just so much. And then I was thinking when I was at the service, because he was cremated. That seems to be the way to go now. And then Code 3, I went to a service too the other day, a couple days ago, good friend. And it's just so much. And then all the different suicides that's happening. I mean, it made me start thinking about happiness, just all the different people who, Anthony Bourdain, it's just so many. It has here somebody named Stephanie Adams, a football player, Philip Adams, American former model, glamour model, Stephanie Adams. She jumped from the 25th floor window with her 7-year-old son. Oh, my God. That's a young lady called Stephanie Adams. She was an American former glamour model known as the November 1992 Playboy Playmate. Jumped from a 25th floor window with her 7-year-old son, Vincent, in her arms. Are you kidding me? That's just a lot of pain. Man.
I've actually been watching the documentary on Hugh Hefner. Hang on.
Yeah, you mentioned it. I tried to watch it a little bit, and that woman that came on first that looked like him with the short hair, she scared me. She made me turn on the first 48.
But you know what? In the last episode 4 I was watching, there was a few women that committed suicide. They say one was they felt like to protect Hugh because the feds were moving in on him on some drug trafficking charges. And one of the witnesses worked for him, and she ended up they say committing suicide. She overdosed on Quaaludes.
Wow.
Wow, that's crazy. Why would you take your child?
I mean, people are in so much pain, and it's got to be that mental thing. And it's funny because Jeff's friend, who owns the Dime, put a gun to his mouth and shot himself. He was supposedly he was Chadwick Bosewick's agent, and he committed suicide because he found out his girl was cheating on him. I'm like, she was 26 and he was older. Just my God.
I wonder, have you ever had suicidal thoughts?
I've had painful thoughts, and this was the interesting thing that I wrote down. I think when I had suicidal thoughts, I didn't think enough people would come rescue me if I told them. So I was like, nah, I'm not gonna get what I want out of this. So I've been depressed, really depressed. Never thought about committing suicide. One reason strongly is because of Lewis and Peyton, the pain I would cause them.
That was my question. The second part of my question was, when people have these thoughts, do they think about the other people that will be devastated by it?
I don't think they're in the right mindset to think that far ahead. Because if you jump from a 25th story, you're not thinking like the young lady, Miss USA, who jumped from the 29th floor. I mean, they say once you jump on your way down, you regret it.
How do you know? If you've never, how do you know they regret it?
I don't know. But it's like, and God rest so. I mean, Regina King's son. I mean, just the pain that it must cause everyone. It's such a long list. Robin Williams,
Don Cornelius,
Steve Bing, American businessman and film producer, jumped from the 27th floor of an apartment building. Wow. Bo Birch, American musician, gunshot. Wow.
Yeah, it's just a lot going on.
Wow. I mean, so much. So anybody out there, please just call someone, talk to someone, get help. I know it's a lot going on, and it's easy for me to sit up here and say, but I can honestly say that I've had a lot of pain, and you look at, it doesn't matter who you are, what kind of money you have. It's your brain.
Yep, everybody goes through it. And here's a number if you are thinking about ending your life, 800-273-8255.
What is it again? 800?
273-8255.
8255.
Yo, where's Jeff today?
We're not gonna talk about that. But I mean, I wish him he'll be all right. He was at the show last night. He hosted. I wasn't there. I didn't go, but I talked to Keith. So, we have a great show. Today is interesting because we have our first millennial comedian on. Most of the comedians we've talked to are old, like myself. But we have our first under 20-something, comedian. I'm interested. He's an interesting guy because I've responded to him on Facebook, but he never responds back. But I think that's just a millennial thing.
Is he an Instagram comedian?
No. He's old school, and he's young in age, but he's old school in his approach to comedy. So I'm sure he does Instagram stuff, but I've seen him grow up on stage in front of a live audience, and it's just his. When I introduce him, he's just he's a millennial. That's how they put his little intro, and I thought it was interesting. But I'm interested in talking to him about. We always talk to the old comics about how they feel about the young comics. It's going to be interesting hearing from the young comics who talk about the old comics. And then we have Joe Fox, who's a really funny guy too, who's on tour with Tony Rock. And
the chat room is asking about Jeff.
Well, tell them that they'll give him a call. They have his number because somebody else will answer the phone.
Uh-oh, my phone. Hang on.
That might be him. He'll tell you about that when he comes. So today is game day for us at Harvard Westlake. We play Mater Dei in the first round of the Open Division. I'm excited about that. That's why I'm gonna go get my hair done. Well, I got to show next week, so I got to look halfway decent now. But it is still Black History Month, which we're still proud of. I love the commercials that they're running and different things that they're showing our history, and I've been watching TMC or TCM, Turner Classic Movies, and watched Cabin in the Sky last night with Ethel Waters, and I mean it was the room where they go talk about devil up in the. It's just a great movie. I watched Lilies of the Field with Sidney Poitier, and I just love historical movies. So I just like history. What?
I just got a call.
From whom?
What was the girl we talked about before the show?
Right. So she just called you?
She just called me and said Jeff was arrested.
Okay, that's not true, and I'm not going to buy that coming from her. So I'm not going to put that out there. So that's
I can't believe that. Is really?
No, that's not true. So I don't know what she's talking about. That's on her. That's
why?
Their
How did she
relationship.
get my number?
I guess it was in his phone. Maybe she has his phone, and maybe they're upset. They have a volatile relationship. So I'm not going to, I'm sure my boy will call me, and I'm not going to, I don't know what's going on, and I wouldn't want anyone to put out business that is not confirmed with me. Jeff is man enough to come and tell us what's going on with him when he's able to.
If he's arrested, I don't think he.
Well, I'm going to stop saying that. I'd appreciate it if we didn't put that out there.
Okay.
So.
Damn, that's crazy.
Because would you want, that's the problem. That's the issue I have with a lot of people is if the person's man enough or upfront enough, they'll tell you what's going on with them. But for us to speculate with some personal woman that he's with, I know Code 3 wouldn't do that. Put my business out there, and I don't think it's obvious that she's not a loyal person in that respect.
So when you talked to her, did she tell you what was going on?
I'm going to leave that conversation I'm going to honor. I've known Jeff for 30 years, so I'm going to leave that. I'm going to move on to. It is Black History Month, so I'm sure it's a lot of people that's.
And your guest is in the chat room.
Cool. So listen, this young man is a millennial, simple truths. This is how he's described: a millennial, simple truths, common life experiences, and obvious in hindsight, which is interesting. He's a writer, producer, stand-up comedian. You've seen him on Fox, True TV, Aspire, and BET. And one of the things that I'm really interested in, that he's the author of a comic book entitled Swag Patrol. And it's about 3 African-American teenagers and 2 siblings and their cousins who become superheroes with the help of their science teacher after a lab accident. I've actually purchased a couple of those comic books. So I'm really excited to talk to our first millennial on the show, and not an old head. Please welcome Mr. Reuben Warren. Give him a hand. Reuben Warren. Hey, Reuben.
Hey, what's going on?
How are you?
I'm good, man. It's good to see you, man. I ain't seen you in a minute. So.
I was telling them before you came in the room that I actually follow you on Facebook, and then I've actually responded, but you've never responded back. And I'm like, well, maybe he really never liked me when I would see him in person. So,
No, it's not that at all. I next time you comment, I will definitely respond. I promise.
Okay, I'm just like, I've done it a couple times, and I was, after like 5 times, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and be hurt. Because if he was my son, then I can understand him not responding. But, so you look good. Now, I mean that in a way because I had read, because like I say, I follow you. You had began working out and you had mentioned how it feels good to be buff and in shape, and girls look at you differently. Is that still going on? You still working out?
Yeah. Actually, I was supposed to go to the gym today. I'm not sure if I will make it or not, but yeah, the gym is going good. I've been, lifting for like a little over a year now. And yeah, it's been cool. Like the whole fitness wave, I'm on it, and it's not bad. It's not bad at all.
Now you're under 30, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you are a millennial.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I read you started doing comedy at 14 years old.
Yeah, I started at 14. My my mom says I did my very first show when I was like 5. She said I did it in the backyard. But yeah, like I started at like 14 is when I like really was like, okay, let me see if I can really do this.
Yeah, because I read you said you became serious at 14. I'm like, serious at 14? Now, where were you born?
I was born in Portland, Oregon. That's where I'm from.
Okay, and you were raised there?
Yeah. Well, I done lived everywhere. I moved. I was born in Portland, and then I moved to New York. That's where my mom's family's from. So I moved there when I was a kid. Then we moved back to Portland. Then I moved down south to Atlanta in my teens. So yeah, I've been everywhere.
Now, when you moved from Portland to New York, did you move with your mom and dad, or did they just?
Yeah, they moved out there together, and then they got divorced, and then my dad moved back to Portland, and then my mom moved back to Portland as well. So.
Okay, so your dad's always been in your life.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's something. First of all, congratulations on your comic book. How did you come up with the idea for your comic book?
Yeah, I remember I was at the library because I spent a lot of time as a teenager in the library. That was like my hangout for the weekends. I would just love to go to the library, be there all day. So like one day I had accidentally walked into the wrong section. I was looking for a book and I walked to the wrong section, and it was like the how to draw comic book section. And so I just was like, oh yeah, I remember I used to like comic books when I was a kid. So I like picked up a couple books, got them, from the library. And when I went home, I opened up the books. And as I started reading the books, like the whole idea just hit me. And I stayed up to like 4 a.m. that night, like drawing out characters and all that stuff. So yeah, and then it also just came from I just remember thinking like, I don't really know that many Black superheroes. There's like a few of them that I knew, but I couldn't really name that many. So I was like, well, I'll just make my own, and have them be just as cool as the heroes that I grew up liking.
Now, how long was the process from start to finish for you to complete your book?
Let's see, I came up with the idea when I was 16, and I didn't release my first book until I was, how old was it? 20. So it took like 4 years to get like the very, very first book all the way like done and printed.
I recently, I had heard about it, but I never watched it. I just watched Black Lightning. Did you watch that show?
Yeah, I watched the first, cause I think it's like 3 seasons or 4 seasons. I watched whatever the latest season is. I haven't watched it, but I watched like the first few seasons of it. Yeah.
And did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was cool for what it was. It was it's a CW show, so those shows are like very like cringy because they're like corny, But it was cool.
Because I've in following you, you say a lot of things, and this is how I wrote it. That you post a lot of straightforward thoughts. Are you ever worried about being canceled when you're at Kevin Hart's status? Because here's some of the things. Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
Here's some of the things you said. So it's okay to body shame Nelly for something he can't control, but we're not supposed to body shame Lizzo for choosing not to put down the fork.
Okay, first of all, let me just interrupt here.
What?
Nelly, people are complaining about Nelly had a sex tape out, for those who don't know what you're talking about. It was on Twitter.
Okay.
And so everybody was talking about the size and everything. He's average size.
Okay,
just
so
FYI.
All right, I wouldn't know or care about that, but
I just thought about it since you brought it up.
Okay, so we apologize. That's our producer who thinks that she can talk whenever she wants because she's in charge, Reuben. And also you said wait a minute. Hold up. When you finally hear, you threw me off. When you finally hear your dad's side of the story. Now, what do you have any thoughts that this is gonna, like, if you ever have to work with Lizzo, or does that bother you?
It doesn't. I used to think it would, but after a while, I just kind of realized, like, it is what it is. I said what I said. And even more so, like, I had a few years ago, I had a joke that went viral because it was a joke about the whole Me Too movement. And so I had made a dark humor joke about it, and so it went viral. So all these angry women were like trolling me and all this stuff, and it made me realize it's like ain't no need to apologize, because people always apologize when they get caught up on some stuff. And I did apologize because I had my friends and stuff that I was connected to. They were like, bro, we getting backlash because of your joke. So I went out and I was like, yo, I don't condone sexual assault, blah, blah, blah. And then right after that, these people started making fake tweets from like using my name and my face. It was making like fake tweets that I was saying I was going to like go out and rape women and stuff. So that whole experience taught me like, oh, I'm never going to apologize, because it's like, you damned if you do, damned if you don't. So you might as well just stand on what you said. And I think in today's world, you get more respect when you stand on your square now, versus folding under the pressure.
So have you eliminated that joke, or do you still do it?
No, it was like a tweet. It was just a tweet, so it was like a throwaway joke. So yeah, I've never, I don't do it or anything like that. But yeah, like I don't worry about what I say. It's like I know what I'm doing, and I know that I'm pushing buttons when I post what I post. So if it does come back to hurt me, then I'm gonna have to just take that L. But it's like, for me, it's like I said what I said, and for me, it's all jokes. Like obviously it comes from a real place. But at the end of the day, I just be laughing the whole time. Like, people always be like, oh, you hate women and all this stuff. And it's like, nah, man, I be cracking up when I hit post. When I hit send, I'm like, oh, this is going to be funny. So, yeah, for me, it's all jokes and entertainment to me.
Now, that takes me to another question about, is there a subject that you won't touch?
A subject I won't touch? Not really. Maybe I ain't gonna lie. I probably wouldn't touch Jews, just because I've seen how that, with Whoopi Goldberg, we saw how that went down. So I ain't gonna touch them. That's really the only one I could think of. Well, I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna just completely just avoid that, that whole topic. But yeah, there's not really much I won't try to joke on, because I feel like as a comedian, you should be able to go there and obviously not be disrespectful, but it's like you should be able to, like, to hit that edge, you know what I'm saying, to touch the edge and even go over it sometimes, but just to push those boundaries. I feel like that's a part of comedy, is to, to go for the jugular.
Now, you started when you were 14. When did you become comfortable? Because I remember seeing you at the Comedy Union and watching you and studying you. And when did you feel you were becoming Reuben Warren, the comedian? After how many years?
I would say probably, I would say maybe when I did my first TV set out here. I think that's when it kind of set. And I think I want to say I was probably like 22, 23. So, yeah, I would say around that time is when I really kind of felt like, okay, I'm coming into my own, and I'm really starting to get my voice, and, trying to figure out like what my perspective is. So yeah, I would say about, around like 22, 23 is when it really started to set in for me.
What do you feel separates you from, because it's so many millennial comics now. And I was telling our producer earlier, she was saying, well, yeah, so he's one of those Instagram comedians. I was like, no, he started mostly like us, live on stage. I said he was in front of a live audience when he was honing his craft. So what do you think separates you, if there is a separation, from all these other young comics who are in the game?
I would say one thing that separates me is that I do go against the grain. As you you follow me on Facebook, so so I think that's one thing, that helps me stand out, is because I will say what everybody else won't say. Because a lot of times when I feel like I go too far, a lot of people hit me up and be like, bro, you be saying the real, like you be saying what a lot of us be thinking, but don't be wanting to say. Right. So I think, like I said, I think today, especially in today's climate where everybody's so touchy and so, so like trigger happy to be like, oh, I'm offended. It's like, I feel like if you're the one to be like, well, if you're gonna be offended, I might as well give you something to be offended about. So I feel like that's one thing that kind of helps me.
I'm circling back because I know I mentioned that you started when you were 14, but how did you actually get into comedy?
My dad was a stand-up comedian growing up.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. My dad was a comic, and I grew up just like watching him, and I would go to some of his shows and stuff. So I was always around it. And then he used to buy me Bill Cosby and Sinbad albums. So I would listen to those. I was like 9, 10 years old, listening to Sinbad and Bill Cosby like all day, and just thinking it was the funniest stuff in the world. And so yeah, that's what got me into it. And then, like I said, when I was like 14, was when I did like my first show. And then like my dad saw me and was like, "Oh, okay, I didn't know you was really trying to do it like that." And then when he saw that I was taking it serious, that's when he kind of showed me the ropes.
Now, what's your dad's name?
Rubyn is the same. I'm a second, so we got the same name.
Oh, now where was he doing comedy? In L.A. or where?
He was doing it in Portland. That's where he was doing it. But he actually did the Bay Area competition back in the day. The year that Mark Curry won, my dad came in third place that year.
Okay, so yeah, so he was of my age, yeah, because I won the first one. No, I'm just kidding. I won the first Bay Area Black Comedy competition.
Oh, I didn't know that. Congrats!
Yes,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, 1980, I won the first one. But Mark Curry's win came because Marcus and them were managing him. I think that's why he won. That's why he beat your dad. Your dad didn't have a chance. They wouldn't give it to Mark. Your dad probably won it. No, I'm just kidding. So, well, that's interesting. Now wow. And now, does your dad help you write material? Does he give you material?
No, not no more. I think like when I was younger, he would help out, but I mean, now he just like he doesn't even really do stand up anymore like that. So he be telling like some people still hit him. He actually told me the other day somebody hit him up about wanting him to do some jokes, and he was like, "Oh no," he's like, "My son is the one that's doing it now. Hit him up." So
okay, fair enough. I wanted to ask, what advice would you give someone who wants to create a comic book?
My advice to them would be, be patient. That's first and foremost, because it's, when you do it independent, it definitely is a process. So you gotta be patient with it. And also too, just focus on making like a good story with some good characters. I feel like that's the basis, I think, of any type of medium that's storytelling, because comic books is storytelling. And so I think, definitely like focus on wanting to tell a good story with solid characters. And once you get that down, that's like, you can go up from there, find good artists that you can work with, make sure your artwork is on point. Don't be afraid to collab with other people, because it's a very much a collaboration process. Because if you can't draw, you got to find an artist, or if you do draw, but you're not necessarily a good writer, you got to find somebody to help you write the story. So, yeah, don't be afraid to collab and network and meet people. But yeah, definitely, just endure the process, because it's a long one.
What part do you do well?
I'm the writer. I can't draw to save my life. So okay. I'm a writer. And so I link up with different people that I know can draw, and I do it that way.
Now, who drives it more, the writer or the artist?
Honestly, with comic books, it's equally important. It's 50-50. Because it's a visual medium. Like, as much as it's a story medium, it's also a visual medium. So the artwork is just as important as the story. And sometimes you can see amazing artwork in a comic book, but the story be trash. You'd be like, "Oh, I don't care how good the artwork is." And then sometimes you'll see like a good story, and you'll be like, "Man, I wish the art was a little bit better, but the story was good." So I feel like they're both like, you really need both. You can't do one without the other. It's like who's more important, the mom or the dad? It's like, well, you need them both to create a child. So
got it. Now I was gonna before I get to that, I wanted to ask you that it took me to writing. I'm sorry. I was reading and following you on Facebook. You had written something for TV, right? I apologize for not remembering what that was, but can you tell us about that? Yeah. It was your first script, right?
Yeah. So I wrote for Bentley Kyle Evans, creator of Jenny Fox Show and writer on Martin and everything. So he has his own studio out here. So he has a TV show that he that he has that airs in the Caribbean. So they had me come in to write a couple of sitcom episodes for him. So yeah, that was my first like foray into, well, not my first time into television writing, but writing for like a sitcom and episodes and stuff. That was like my first time, and that was a really dope experience. So
now you hadn't done that before? So how was were you scared? Were you nervous? I mean, did you get it right away, or what were the challenges in that?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think it was because I've written sitcom episodes before. Because like as a writer, you kind of practice, writing different form. Like you try to write a movie, you try to write a sitcom or a TV show, just so you can kind of know format and structure and all that stuff. So I think for me, the hardest thing was doing it on my own because I had a writing partner, and so that would help me write sometimes. But like just doing it on my own for the first time was somewhat of a challenge because you have to do everything yourself with like plotting and all that stuff and how to tell the story, and this thing happens, so then this makes the conflict go forward. But yeah, I think that was probably the hardest part. But once you get it though, like once you do it that first time, it gets much easier after you do it more and more, because it's like a muscle. You know what I'm saying? If you keep lifting heavier and heavier, you're gonna get stronger.
It's some things we do here. We're gonna be wrapping up in a minute, but it's we say, do you do well or you don't do well? Can you spell?
Yes.
Okay. Can you cook?
Yes.
You golf?
No.
How's your driving?
Oh, it's good.
Who taught you how to drive?
Let's see. My mom, and then I ended up taking a driving course. So there's like, I think this African dude taught me.
That's just funny to me. This African dude taught me. What's your education? Did you go to college?
I did. I went to college for 1 week.
What college did you go to for 1 week?
Georgia State.
And why was it only 1 week?
Because my loan did not get approved. So I was able to go for that week. And while they were waiting for the loan to get approved or denied, I was able to go. And then that Friday, I went to the office. They were like, yeah, so your loan ain't get approved. And I was like, all right, well, I'll just, whatever.
That's definitely a millennial thing. You said, all right, and then you just rolled. And then,
well, no, actually, what's funny is I had told myself, I was like, oh, well, I'm going to go back the next semester. I was like, I'm going to just get a job, you know what I'm saying, work and do what I got to do and go back the next semester. But at that time, that's when I really started I was really doing stand-up at that time. I was 18. I was able to go out and go to clubs and all that stuff. So I started doing stand-up in Atlanta and was getting into the circuit and getting into the scene. And then that's when I was like, man, do I really need to go to college? And then I asked a homie who was like, he was a little bit older than me. He was like in his 30s at the time. And so I was like, man, I don't know if I want to go back to school or not. And he was like, well, do you know what you want to do? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I want to do stand-up. And he's like, well, does that require a degree? And I was like, nah. He's like, well, then there's your answer. And it was that simple for me. I was like, oh yeah, I don't need school. And I just been, I've been on the comedy grind ever since.
Who have you opened up for different comedians that you've enjoyed that time with?
I opened up for Lavelle Crawford. That was very fun. I've opened up for him a couple of times. And that was always fun. That's probably like the big name that I opened up for. I mean, LA, you can say you opened up for anybody because you never know who's gonna show. I mean, I can say I opened up for Mike Epps. I can say I opened up for Kevin Hart. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But as far as who I legit opened up for, it was Lavelle Crawford. I opened up for him a couple of times, and he was real cool.
Now, how was that experience walking out? Because the audience was packed, of course. So were you nervous?
No, I stopped getting nervous after I think after 18, 19, I stopped getting nervous. And now it's like, for me, the stage is like a drug. So I'll be waiting to get the hit. I'm like a fiend for it. So I wasn't nervous at all.
Now, I know.
Have you ever bombed?
Of course.
Oh, of course. You're not a comedian if you haven't bombed. That's
How was that for you?
Oh, I mean, it sucks. You feel crappy, but you be all right. You bounce back because as a comedian, you only as good as your last show. So if you kill your last show, you be feeling good. if you bomb your last show, you be like, dang, I got to get back out here and get that win again.
And
So, it's a part of the game.
And plus, you always, after you get off stage, you don't have a good show. You usually walk past someone who's not funnier than you, and you look at them and like, I'm still funnier than him. So.
Yeah, it's just like you have an off night. I've had shows I just be like, especially like, matter of fact, I bombed not too long ago, maybe like a couple months ago, and it was like I knew it wasn't me because it's like I was doing all tried and true material. Like as a comic, when you be like, I'm hitting you with stuff I know works, so it's not me.
Right.
But it was just an off night, and you're just like, well, it is what it is. They wasn't feeling it.
That's good. That's always a good attitude. Can you play an instrument?
Yes, I could play. I play the piano and I could play the guitar.
How well?
Not that well. I've only been playing guitar a little bit over a year, and my piano playing I haven't played since like my early 20s, so it's been a minute. But I mean, I can still like play a little something.
Okay. Can you swim?
No.
Okay. How do you feel about scary movies?
They cool actually. I don't like how I feel like scary movies now, though, they all kind of the same. They only do like the ghost stuff now. You don't have a lot of variety no more with like slasher flicks or monsters and all that stuff. They all just be like paranormal activity now.
Now, I remember during the pandemic, you were watching a lot of old head stuff that you were commenting on. You were talking about old movies you were watching, and then you would comment about how that was really good and people don't sleep on that. What has been your favorite old school TV show or movie that you watched and you were like, oh, I see why my parents and them enjoyed that?
Yeah. I would say probably the dopest one, but probably Living Single. I think that was the one because like I said, I had always saw reruns growing up and I always knew what the show was, but I never really watched it like that. I would always watch Martin. But yeah, I watched like maybe 1 or 2 episodes of Living Single. But when I sat down and really was like, I'm gonna watch from episode 1 all the way to the last episode, that was a fun journey. Like seeing those characters, you know what I'm saying, over those 5 seasons, it was fun. So I would say that's probably like the dopest thing that I watched during the pandemic.
Good. And now a couple of things before I let you go. I know people tell you look like Gerard Carmichael. No?
You know what? Actually, I don't really get that a lot. I've only had one person. There was a comedian when I first moved out here who thought I was Gerard Carmichael. Like we was talking, and he was like, "Yeah, bro, how you doing?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good, man." He's like, "Yeah, so I saw you got your show on NBC, man. Like, how's that going for you?" I was like, "I don't have no show on NBC." And he was like, "Oh, wait." He's like, "You're not Gerard Carmichael?" I was like, "Nah." And he was like, "Oh, my bad."
So, all right, last question. What is something you wish you had experienced or wish you had not experienced in your young life?
I wish I didn't experience watching the movie Precious.
Okay, all right, listen, that's funny. Hey, listen, Reuben Warren, I really appreciate you taking the time and for taking the time to spend with us. Now, I'm definitely going to hit you on Facebook. Please respond if you wouldn't mind.
I will. You have my word. I will respond. The next time you comment, I'm gonna go all out. So I'm gonna put gifts. I'm gonna have emojis. I'm gonna have all kinds of stuff.
All right. Can you give us your social media stuff?
Yes, absolutely. I am at Rubyn Comedy on all platforms. RUBYN Comedy. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
All right. Thank you so much, man. Have a great day and stay safe.
Hey, man. You too, man. Good to see you.
You too. Reuben Warren.
He spells it interesting. I wonder if his dad spells it the same way.
Yeah, and his dad, I didn't know his dad was a comic, so that's interesting. Certain things he never mentioned that on Facebook. But now maybe he'll hit me up on Facebook.
He probably was like, who is this old nigga DMing me?
Who's the mustache guy? I can't believe she called you. I'm still laughing.
Yeah, she called me and told me what was up. I'm like, wow.
Now okay, I mean, we're not going to... okay, so I can't believe she's calling everyone in his phone. And she's calling everyone in his phone. And that's the crazy thing about it, because when I got the phone call, and this is weird, and it came up Jeff, and then it was her voice, I said, oh my God, please don't let it be that call. Because I know he works security, and he's always, running into crazy people. And I'm like, please don't tell me, that something bad happened to him. So I'm glad he's physically okay. And we know, as thuggish and tough as he is, he can handle whatever mental part they're putting on him. So.
I don't know. It sounds pretty serious, though.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not going to speculate until I sit with Code 3 and she gives me the lowdown. Then I'll call you, but give me the facts. But you just never know what's going on in anybody's life. You just never know.
So you didn't know.
I had no idea what was.
But that's your best friend. How do you not know?
Because we have every man. I don't know about women, how they do, but most men have certain parts of their life that they will not share with their closest friend because they know their closest friend will step to them about that. He knows I'm not that kind of guy. So he knows, I mean, look at what I yell at him about now, about how he dresses and he curses and all that. So imagine if it was something really negative, he knows I'm not going to bite my tongue. So he's not going to. It's just certain things that we do, and I'm saying we.
So you mean Jeff, dang, he was willing to take penitentiary chances?
No, I'm just saying, we're all speculating. I'm just saying, like, there's certain things that, let me see, if there's something in my life that I have not shared with him, in a sense, no. No. Basically, if you were to ask Jeff certain things about me, he could say yay or nay with confidence because I just haven't demonstrated that type of behavior. And he's only displayed the tough, which I think is too much sometimes. Like I always say, you're too old to be thinking and talking like that. No, I keep it real. No. So that part of me is weak. I'm a sellout when it comes. I'm not that tough. If you try to put me in the neighborhood, I'd be.
Or jail.
I'm not going to go there because, I just wouldn't want. I don't know because I don't trust her. Wow. I don't trust her.
Wow.
Whereas where I would hope someone could trust Code 3 because she's trustworthy. But given the information that I know about her, I wouldn't trust her. And that's why I have to validate stuff before. Now, if it gets validated, next week I won't be here next week. But the week after, I will be talking about it.
You're not going to be here next week.
No, I have.
You're just not telling me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, this is the thing.
When you were late this morning, I was like, oh, shit, Lewis pulling that shit again.
No, I went to a memorial service.
I know.
And I timed it. And I thought you would have some compassion because I wore the ribbon.
I didn't think I said if he's not here in 10 minutes, I'm about to pack up.
So did you get my text?
No.
Yes, I sent you a text saying ETA 11:05.
Yeah, but that was after 11.
Oh, that's when it came through. I was like, let me text you. I thought and I really thought, now keep in mind, I thought Jeff would already be here. So my voice got high for that. Didn't it? My voice got a high for that. Jeff would be here. It's something wrong.
Wow, I just hope.
I hope he's okay.
He don't get a lot of time.
No, he ain't getting no. Will you stop putting that out there? He ain't getting no time. Ain't nothing. It's all a big mistake. Let's hope that that whatever's going on. I'm not.
Well,
let's get back to.
I'm gonna say this.
No, don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. You are on one. Don't say no. Don't say it. Don't because you are on one.
I would say this. I wouldn't put it past Jeff. I'm just gonna say that.
Okay, now that's interesting, but that you have an insight
because I know his comedy ain't paying the bill.
Okay, stop. I'm just okay. Well, all right. See now you got me going down that road, and I don't want to go down that road. I don't want to go down that road because I'm about to say, well, would you be shocked if it was me?
Yeah, more so you than Jeff. Because he more about that street life than you are.
I don't know how that's supposed to make me feel. I'm okay with that. I got a tie on and my mustache hasn't been darkened in, so it's obvious that.
All right, well let's do this.
Oh Lord, I hope now you better not have him up in there. You better not have him in the news.
What?
25% of the couples in this country.
This just in. Jeff arrested. Not playing.
Okay.
Okay, so we were talking. Well, I brought up the whole Nelly thing during your interview. Well, apparently, he supposedly released a video by mistake of a woman giving him oral.
Now, I'm going to be honest. Excuse me, Wednesday night.
You've done it?
No. Wednesday night.
You got oral? No, I'm playing.
Wednesday night, I'm sitting next to Jeff and we're talking, and he's always saying, hey, did you see this video? Did you see this video? I'm like, no. And he always sends it to me. So he sends me that video. I click it on. I'm like, oh, that's nasty.
You watched the video, Lewis?
No, I clicked it on, and then I was like, oh, Jeff, and then I turned it off. I was like, that's nasty. And Jeff's watching. I was like, you watched that? And,
I could see it would be offensive for you if it was two guys, but he's getting head. Like, you don't watch porn, Lou?
Okay, first of all, then I started reading the comments. I did read the comments. And the people were interested on their comments, talking about it was dry and it wasn't enough whatever.
Spit.
Yeah, I'm like, these people are nasty. I mean, who does that?
Okay, so what I've been hearing, what made me actually click on the video was everybody was talking about the size, saying that they expected, I guess, him to have a huge penis. But when I saw the video, I was like, that's average size. The average size of a man's penis, I think, is like 7 inches.
So
they were talking about the girth was good.
What if you do that with the phone? You do that. You open it up.
Did you do that?
No, I did not. I did not. I didn't even touch the screen. Okay, I shook it to come off.
I don't know. I mean, well, I can see how you can accidentally post something. I don't know. That's kind of hard to believe.
First of all, why are you recording it?
So you can watch it later?
Is that what people do? I can't say it's a millennial thing because, I mean, it's a millennial thing because they got the phone. Old heads, you had to set up videotapes. But that's...
Okay, so according to the internet, the average size of a man's penis is between 5 and 5.5 inches.
That's small. That is small. I don't think that's small.
Yeah.
And mostly every man has...
Maybe this is for white men.
Yeah, has measured their John. So,
yeah, so even... my social media strategist.
Is that who that is?
Yeah.
The young lady?
Yeah, she's coming in. She's helping us with our social media strategies.
Can she make my mustache smaller? That's all
She said she'll see what she can do.
She seems like a nice young lady.
Yeah, I just actually met her in person. We've been communicating by email. She's been, she works with, is it Destination? Lamert Park Tech. Tech Lamert, my bad.
She seems smart.
Shout out. Yeah.
So she's a millennial, right? She's under 30?
Yeah, I would think so.
She's a nice person.
She said millennial Gen Z border.
She seems nice. She seems smart.
Yeah, so she's actually here helping.
And she's beautifully brown.
Yeah, okay.
I just think that's.
So she's helping.
And I don't know. Can I say that? She's beautifully brown.
It depends on. Do you feel? Yeah, she's cool with it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so she's helping us build our social media strategy and visibility for Morris Media. And shout out to Tech Lamert, and Rashidi. They've been really a big help with, helping us at the studio and the community and stuff like that. So shout out to them.
Thank you. And you need someone young to hold those cameras because old people shake.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, Nelly claimed it was an accident that. Have you ever accidentally post something? I don't. I can't.
I would not. No. We don't do that. So my question is, the young lady evidently was okay with him filming her. Do you think she knew?
I mean, she knew because the light was on her. I mean, it wasn't like it was dark. You could tell he had on his phone light.
So that means her parents are going to see that. Her brothers and sisters.
Well, if they're old like you, probably they not on social media like that.
I'm sure he got a bunch of hits and stuff, right? It went viral. Is that what it did?
Yeah.
And
he actually took it down, but with the internet, you once you put it out there, it's out there.
So he's single, I'm assuming.
Last time I heard, he was dating. He was dating somebody's ex. I forget who it was.
Oh, these people.
Chat room, let me know. I forget. I don't know if he's still dating. He was dating.
I thought he was light skinned.
He is. Oh, his penis did look dark, though.
I'm glad you said that because I tried to say it in a different way. Did you get that? I'm glad you piggybacked on that because I didn't think it'd sound right.
See, now he could have denied that whole picture. He could have said, "Hey, that ain't mine."
And it didn't have a Band-Aid on it. It didn't have a Band-Aid on it. But that's an old joke. So.
Yeah. So okay. So the girl's name is Chantel Jackson, and
they actually have her name?
I forget who she was. She was dating someone before Nelly who I think was abusive. Oh no, so her and Nelly actually broke up last year.
Okay, well, good. I guess it's going to help his, more people come to this concert.
Well, according to the internet, they say he's not working with a lot, but I think he's average. I don't see what the big deal is.
No pun intended. Okay. All right.
So they're cracking jokes in the chat room. Anyway, the next story is rest in peace to A.J. Johnson.
Yeah.
Autopsy came out on his death. He died at the age of 55 in September. And basically it's because he drank too much.
Yeah. That's what Jeff was telling me all this stuff Wednesday night. That's sad. So my thing was, when he collapsed in the store, was he drunk? Or was that just...
Well, they also said that they found in the autopsy that he had COVID. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but I'll say this. I've been in the music business, I would say, most of my life. And I see a lot of heavy drinking in the industry. I see people wake up to alcohol. I don't know how they do it. So my fear is all those people that I've came up with over the years that I saw drinking, I just feel like they're going to become that statistic.
Yeah, I'm not I 2 drinks, I'm done. If I have 2 French connections, I'm done. 2 beers, maybe 3. I'm not a big... Never really been, my son, he can handle a drink. And
when you're young, that's the thing is when you're young, you could drink like that. You could drink and then get up the next morning and
function,
do your thing. But now it's like...
Yeah, Code 3 had a couple drinks the other night.
And is she different when she drinks?
She was walking that wall. That's what I call it. She started walking, holding on that wall.
Oh, you didn't hold her up?
Oh, I took care of my baby.
I'm surprised y'all are still together this long.
Me too. But I'm surprised because I didn't see myself doing that. But she's a really good woman. And I'm sure there are a lot of good women, but she's a good woman my age, around my age. I'm a little older than her, but I'm just happy.
Keep talking, Lou. I gotta bring the screen back around.
Oh, okay, because that's funny. Producer, keep talking. Okay, in my news update.
Wait.
I'm just joking. I don't have any news.
Okay, so the other comedian, Bob Saget.
Yeah.
Autopsy also came out.
He hit his head.
Yeah, how? That's kind of suspicious.
Well, that's what the woman Laura Coates was saying on CNN, because she said she's a prosecutor, and then the doctor was explaining to her. Now, just think about it. I don't know. I've hit my head a few times to where it's like, hurt from getting up on the cabinet, but I know from my experience of taking my classes and everything and coaching that you're not supposed to go to sleep at night after you hit your head. I mean, if a kid hits a head, we tell the parents, hey, don't make sure it doesn't, watch him, et cetera, and all that. But she was saying, because they were saying it was something going on with his eye too. But she said when you hit the back of your head, then it shakes the brain, and then blood can go to the front. So
so they don't think that looks suspicious?
No, because she said what she said happened. She said it was just one little bruise and it was a scab. She said because if it was blunt force, more than one hit, it would be more than one hit, not just once. It was consistent with falling, hitting your head, and just like when you scrape your knee, you get a little scab.
My thing is, how do they know? Like, how do they know he fell?
Well, we won't really know the truth until he's on that TV show, Autopsy.
Oh, damn.
Because, and I was just watching, Coulter was watching something last night on the little country singer girl who committed suicide some while back. Little white girl country. Yeah, that's sad. But it was interesting that his family wanted to tell the public that. Now,
well, of course, it probably was going to come out anyway, so they might want to control the narrative, but I just think that having blunt force trauma to your head and you're just okay with it. I'm just wondering if they did any further investigation. Was there anybody in his hotel room? Did they,
Yeah, but I think a lot of times I know if you hit your head, you'd be like, damn, it hurts. And usually he was by himself, because I know times that I've hit my head by myself, I'm like, damn, and you fight through it, and you're like, oh, Lord. And then you feel for a lump.
Yeah.
Then you're like, okay.
So there had to be, I wonder if there was some kind of lump on it. I don't know.
And then he laid down, so,
They're just, like, dismissing that a little bit too easy for me.
Okay. Doctor.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, but you could.
And he also was COVID.
Yeah.
He had COVID.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so the next story is congratulations to Snoop Dogg. He just purchased Death Row Records. But the thing is, he purchased the brand, but he doesn't own the rights yet.
Oh, he doesn't own the masters and all that.
He doesn't own them, but they say that he's negotiating that. Hang on, we got a call. Hang on.
So he would have all that music, huh? Is it a collect?
That's where the value is in the music.
Is it a collect call? I'm just kidding.
I don't know. Let's see. Hang on.
Caller. Hello?
You have a collect call from a California
Stop.
correctional
That ain't funny.
facility.
That ain't funny.
You thought it was. You the one that said it's a collect call.
I know. I got to stop. I'm hitting my boy. You can't kick him when they do.
Anyway, the label was previously owned by toy company Hasbro. The result of a $3.8 billion merger with Canadian Studio Entertainment One, who purchased Death Row in 2013. Snoop just became the new owner of the brand after being a part of the label 30 years ago. So we'll see what's to come. But he's actually releasing his new album, BODR. I'm not sure what that stands for, but it's going to be released on the new Death Row label, the new and I guess improved Death Row records.
I guess we can safely say that Snoop is winning, because when you look at the history and where these guys came from, being on trial for murder, and him and Tupac and all of them, and those different guys, him, Ice Cube, and Dr. Dre, and God rest his soul, Eazy-E. So I'm assuming that, Snoop Dogg, I believe, definitely he's done a lot of good in the neighborhood, and I'm assuming that he has that angel on his head, on the shoulder, just guiding him, and I'm sure his mother, God rest her soul, had a lot to do with it, and his wife, who's been with him forever. I'm assuming he's had a lot of good people who are there supporting him. And good for him.
Yeah, so his new album comes out today, and I'm actually going to the album release party tomorrow. So they're having a session where you can actually sit down and listen to the album. So I'll be attending that tomorrow. There's a lot going on. It is Super Bowl weekend here in Los Angeles. Have you seen any? Have you noticed a lot of I haven't noticed anything because I've just been kind of back and forth from here to the studio.
No.
Inglewood's having, if you're in LA, Inglewood's having a couple of street festivals that started yesterday that goes on through tomorrow. Tony's performing, Confunction, a whole bunch of Pancho Sanchez, a lot of
it's still
groups
3
of
Tonys.
performance. Actually, what's his name is still not with them, Raphael Sadiq, but they're still good though.
So
I've seen them.
Tony.
Yeah,
Tony,
I've
Tony,
seen
Tony.
them perform. They're still, I think, just as good. So a lot going on in LA. Be safe. They got super security at the Super Bowl. So, and that's that.
Cool. And I think our man is in there.
Yes, he is.
I want to introduce him. He is he's an actor, comedian, writer, producer. You've seen him on HBO, Showtime, BET. You've seen him on everything. He's currently on tour with Tony Rock. They just did a big old New Year's Eve show where they were all in their tux, and he had his shades on. And he's one of the fun. And he does he has his own business too, as far as graphic design.
I always thought this particular comedian favors Denzel.
Okay, I'm sure he'd like that. His cadence to me is, I always felt the Richard Pryor cadence, not like Richard Pryor, but just a cadence. I consider him my friend. He's a nice guy. He's always nice. And for some reason, whenever we're performing, I have to go up after him. So please welcome Mr. Joe Fox. What's up, Joe? How are you?
Hey, Lewis Dix.
Good.
It's an honor, my brother.
Now, did you hear our boss say that you favor Denzel?
I could feel it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see it, but hey, you know.
I try to embrace it, brother. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Am I the only one who's ever said that to you, or have you heard it before?
I've heard it. Usually, it comes from old white women.
Oh.
Well, she's not.
The thing is, are you saying that all black folks look alike when it's coming from an old black?
Yeah, it's like, you know how they like, oh, I like this guy, and anybody that kind of fits that description, they say, oh, you look like such and such. I'm like, it's never Sam Jackson. It's never. It's never, anyone else. It's always, that's pretty consistent.
Well, Denzel is a good one to be compared to, I guess.
Oh yeah.
So how are you, Joe?
I'm amazing. I'm great.
What city? You said you're in Denver?
Dallas. I'm actually in Dallas right now. I tour with Tony Rock. This week I'm just kind of spectating because normally we do, the clubs. So we'll do a full weekend. This is a one-nighter for him in Dallas, and this is my hometown. So I was like, let me check him out. Let me see what it's like. And just hang out a little bit,
That looks like a nice hotel room.
Yeah, this is a hotel room. Yep.
Yeah, it looks nice.
I would never decorate my place like this. Look at that.
Okay, yeah,
but it's nice. I mean,
it looks like the room is high up. It looks like you, for some reason, it looks like you're on the 15th, 16th floor or something like that.
Well, this is the penthouse. I want to, treat myself. No, I think I'm on the 6th floor.
Okay, fair enough. You were born in Dallas?
No, actually, I was born in Oakland, California.
Yeah, area. Listen to me.
Yeah.
I'm hip. Yeah. So you were born in. How long did you live there? Did you grow up? Were you raised there?
I was born there. To my knowledge, I was told that we were there maybe not even a year, and then my parents, they moved all over. My father actually was. He's in government. He retired from the FAA, Federal Aviation Administration, after 30 years. I don't know. It was a long time. It was a long time. He stayed there, moved up things. He was actually in one of the first affirmative action programs for that branch of the government that actually worked, I might say.
Got it.
Yeah, so we moved around a lot.
So where were you raised? What city or state were you raised in?
Okay. Oklahoma City. I came of age in Oklahoma City. Went to school, college in Norman, Oklahoma, and then moved down to Dallas, and that's where I started doing stand up.
So,
Officially started doing
so
stand up.
you saw that growth because I was in Oklahoma. I think it's the Brick House or something. I'm not sure the comedy club. I was there with Craig Robinson. So you've seen the growth of Oklahoma from when it was nothing, huh?
Definitely, there's been a lot of growth and expansion. When I was growing up, there was a club, one comedy club that was called Jokers, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Then it closed down. And I was a kid, little did I know around that same time, Dave Chappelle was 14, 15. He'd already started to hit locally, but it wasn't, in my, it didn't cross, my path until a little bit later in life. So yeah, it's grown quite a bit. And then the Oklahoma City Thunder is there now. So there's lots and lots of activity.
Now, excuse my ignorance, because I know you open up for a lot of people, a lot of celebrities like Tony and Dave and all that. What is it about you that you feel that makes these stars feel comfortable with you opening up for them and sharing the stage with them? What is it about your
Well,
act and you?
well, other than the obvious, being funny
Right.
is being someone that's good to work with, dependable, um, opening up for someone. I mean, it's an honor to be able to do that, especially with movie stars and celebrities. You got to play your position. You got to play your position. I mean, that's number one. Are you likable? Can you be trusted to do your job?
Mm-hmm.
It could be. I mean, it could be that you might need to be on stage for a little extra longer because the headliner is not there yet.
Right. Right.
Little things like that. I mean, people ask me that, how did you get to do it?
Right.
Like how, like on the business end of it. I mean, just, I'm actually friends with these people, or I've established a good rapport. It's an honor to be out on the road. You know that. But when you can do it with somebody that's good, that's working a lot, I'm spoiled, man. It's like, I don't know what it's like to walk into one of these clubs and there's not a whole lot of people there because they don't know the headline. So,
Right.
So I'm spoiled, man. I don't take it for granted, man. It's like, okay, it's just me. And they're like, all right, this is only two people and it's the kitchen staff.
Right. Yeah, one of them is me.
They paid them to be there.
Yeah, one of them is me. I got to go back in and cook the chicken. I'm going to swing back. How did you get into stand-up?
I've always wanted to do it. I mean, you're one of the prime reasons. Actually, I've told you that the Partners in Crime series, Robert Townsend, he had this show for you listening audience. Go, I'm not ancient, but Lewis is.
I know I am. My mustache is saying that.
But I go back to the Partners in Crime days. Robert Townsend had a variety show, and during this time, I was a kid, maybe 13, 14. Heard the Bill Cosby on Reel to Reel, but to actually see somebody do what they did. Lewis Dix was the first comedian on the bill on that first Robert Partners in Crime. And I was like, okay, that's it. That's it right there.
Well, I appreciate that. That's
yeah.
Yeah. And now look at you. And then you just shot right by. That's unfair. You talk about, I know in your act, you talk about being married. Do you have any children?
Not anymore. Okay. No, I never had any.
Okay.
I never had children. Married and divorced and now. Mm-hmm. It's all better now. No.
Yeah, I laugh at the fact every time I hear you do the bit about her taking the hangers. I thought that was hilarious.
It's true.
It's true.
That's true. You know how some of those jokes they say it writes itself.
Right.
Well, that wasn't like a joke, but I mean that's a true thing. That is, I'm like, who does that?
Yeah, she took the hanger. So that actually you went in and saw that.
Yeah, I saw it. It was an experience. The real hit came when I was buying more. I need to get all the hanger. I went to IKEA, and I was like, yo, put all of them in there.
Mm-hmm.
Put all of them in that little cart.
What was I want to ask you? What's your? I asked this question. It's a weird question, but what's been your most expensive purchase?
Other than a divorce attorney.
I knew you.
Is that
the comedy muscles took you right there.
Is that really considered a purchase?
Yeah, that's the comedy muscles took you.
I'm gonna say the biggest. I'm gonna say the big recently the purchase car repairs.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It was like I've never spent that much on a car to get it fixed. Like $3,000 worth of repairs. Like I had the money to do it. I said, you gotta have reliable transportation. I said, man, pay it.
Now, what? And not negative, but what are your positive vices?
My positive vices?
Yeah, like what do you treat yourself to? What do you are you a sneakerhead or do you like traveling? I mean, well, you travel to work, but what is Joe's? If I were to go into Joe's home or hang out with Joe, I'm like, I see that he bought this. He likes this. This is his comfort zone. Some people like cigars. Some people,
Okay, actually, it's a strange one. If you look at my browser history, you're gonna see a lot of old, Malcolm X or John Hyman Clark or Francis Cress Welsing. Their speeches from, the '80s or even earlier. Malcolm X from back in the '60s. To really hear their voice and hear what they were talking about during the times, and I watch hours of that. A lot of the stuff that he talked about back in the '60s is still going on today. Mm-hmm. And history, a lot of history.
So you like history. Now it's Black History Month. So
it is.
Who if you had the opportunity, someone who's no longer here, to sit down and have dinner with them, who would be your top 3 that you would love to sit down with dinner and talk and just pick their brains?
I'm gonna go with wow, man, this is so many people, man. I'm gonna go with one, George Carlin.
Mm-hmm.
2, Malcolm X, or and definitely Francis Cress Welsing.
Now, who was explain that? I'm ignorant to that. Francis who?
Francis Cress Welsing.
Okay. She
is a psychiatrist and lecturer, and she wrote a book called The ISIS Papers: The Keys to the Colors. Baby Boy, which is a movie that John Singleton directed, was based off of her book, loosely based off of her book. Just some of her ideas about the condition of Black people and how our lives have a certain pathology, and how we've been placed in a condition. And great movie, but there is some principles that came from her book. I read that book and it opened my eyes to certain things about Black people. And it's definitely part of Black history.
Does that guide you in the way you conduct yourself and as a Black man?
In some ways, just insight on things. I think that established a baseline of thinking, and it's different for Black people in just how we want to navigate towards our own personal success or goals, and just how we interact with people. But just reading her book, some things kind of made sense from when I was a youth all the way up till now. So it was just, who is this person that they're talking about? And 25 years. That book is very old too, by the way. So after after watching that movie, I wanted to see what that was all about. And it kind of connected some dots. It was just interesting to me about how I'd been living this thing that someone knew about that I agreed with. Oh, okay. I thought I was the only one that saw stuff like that.
Wow. And now, what subjects won't you touch in your comedy? Are there any subjects you won't touch, or maybe you do?
I'd like to find out what I'm not willing to talk about. Like right now, I'm willing to talk about anything. It's always a risk talking about, sensitive things. I haven't found a need to talk about, like rape jokes. People who are mentally retarded, LGBTQIA plus minus multiplication, whatever mathematical, I don't know what that is there.
Right.
Why not put an ampersand or a ... next to the LGBTQIA ... new letter coming soon. I don't know. Jokes like that, I'm starting to just question from the periphery, but not having the actual experience of saying, maybe better not touch that.
Right.
Jews,
Right. Now it's interesting.
Jokes there.
I like the way you put it, that you don't have a need to talk about certain things. Do you? We're gonna get you out of here soon, but because I know you're busy,
Sure.
I wanted to ask you a few things about. We have a thing we call things you do well and things you don't do well. Can you spell?
Most words, yes. Not fast. Not fast, man. I was in that spelling bee back in the day, man, and failed miserably.
Really? Oh yeah, I remember those days.
They just said spelling contest. They didn't teach us, how you can give me what's the root word of that.
Right.
Can you use it in a sentence? I didn't know that you could question that, and there's some skill to spell. I thought I knew how to spell the word ability.
Right.
I didn't have the ability to spell ability correctly. And first up, first down, sat the whole rest of the spelling bee just losing. I didn't get nothing.
That is hilarious. Can you cook?
For other people, perhaps I shouldn't, but I can. Air fryer. Yeah, I can. Air fryer does it for me.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's the same thing, but I have I know my way around appliances.
Do you golf?
No, I don't.
No, okay, I don't either. Can you play an instrument?
I can sort of make a few tunes on the drums or keyboard, but nothing that you would want to listen to at length.
Right. Can you swim?
Definitely, I can swim.
Oh, okay. Here's a question that they don't like me to ask. So our boss has to ask you, our producer, because I came up with this question and I don't know why, but they say it's just not a good question to ask.
First of all, why you didn't ask Reuben this question?
I did, because I had Reuben Warren on earlier, and I did not ask him this question because he's a millennial and I don't know how they feel.
Maybe he thinks you're cute.
Hilarious, but so it's coming from our boss, our producer. She's going to ask this question.
Hey, I didn't come up with the question, but Lou seems to think it's important to know if you're a good kisser.
I'm supposed to say if girls think you can kiss. So that's what I'm supposed to say.
Okay.
Awkward.
Who wants to know this? Lewis came up with the question, or
Lewis came up with the question, but he always puts it on me because he doesn't want to.
I just don't want. I think it's a weird question. They really feel.
Why do you even have it on your list if you feel it's weird?
No, it's a weird question. But then I'm like, nobody's ever going to ask him this question, so I'm gonna ask him.
So I'll have you know, I get asked that question all the time.
Oh, okay. Well, what's your answer?
Because apparently there's a rumor going around and people think that I can actually kiss, and I'm trying to confirm it, but how do you confirm this without actually doing it? And let that person judge for themselves.
Yeah, that's why that's what I was telling Lou. It's not up to you to decide if you're a good kisser. It's the person on the receiving end that decides.
Okay, so do girls feel, the girls that you have kissed, do they feel you're a good kisser?
You know what? I never cared. I was just happy to be kissing. Why should I care if you think? Maybe I cared when I was first kissing.
Okay.
Girl.
Okay.
Now, are you tonguing it down in this age of COVID?
See.
You know what?
Hey.
You know you can't kiss with no mask on. What are you supposed to look? I mean that's a you can ruin the moment right there. Getting all like take the mask off and then be like, you got it. I wonder if you got it.
Let me see your Vax card.
I need take this quick test right now. Lean back. I got a little Q-tip. It's not gonna hurt. Just lean back. Oh, okay.
Now, Joe, are you single?
Define single.
Not in a relationship with someone.
Define relationship.
Hilarious. That's funny.
Oh my God.
That's funny.
Here we go.
Those are great answers.
Here we go.
I am non-committed. I am non-committed and sociable.
Okay, so I was asking that because how has dating been for you during the pandemic? Or are you dating?
Dating has been on my terms.
Wow.
And it's great because see, I just finished getting out of a marriage that could have bled into the pandemic. Pandemic changes everything.
Wow.
You got to either find somebody to hook up with, or now you stuck with somebody. I was done. I'm on my own. I'm good.
Good for you. That's the way it's supposed to be. My last question. What is something you wish you had experienced or wish you had not experienced in your life? Besides that marriage.
Oh, well, that was the easy answer. Right. That was the easy, go. Other than this, I wish I would have experienced coming to Hollywood and getting into acting at an earlier age. Mm-hmm. I wish that I did not. I wish that I think I said that wrong. I wish that I would have gotten. I think I got twisted up. I wish I had done something, and I wish I had not done it. Okay, I wish that I didn't wait so late. Mm-hmm. So it's the opposite side of that. I wish I would have done it earlier, and I wish I hadn't waited so late.
Got it. That's a great answer. Hey,
I hope I didn't.
No. Trust me. Our 7 listeners are good with the answer.
Well, they'll listen. They'll listen later.
Fair enough. Hey, listen, Joe, I really appreciate you taking the time. I know you were traveling and you got in your hotel. Safe travels and have a great show. And thanks a lot. Be safe out there.
Thank you, man. It's been an honor. Appreciate it.
And thank you for the ISIS Papers. That's the book we all want to go out and check out.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Joe Fox.
Thank you.
All righty.
Did that girl call you back?
Yeah, I got some disturbing News.
From whom?
The girl.
Oh no, she called you back?
Yeah.
Or you're talking about the original?
She called me on my phone just like a minute ago.
Okay, but I thought she called you on your phone before.
She did.
And she called you back.
Yep.
So was she listening to the show?
I think she's trying to get some money at this point.
But this is the person she said she. Well, I guess is she listening to the show? Because you know what I told you
I don't think she's listening to the show when Jeff is.
You don't. Okay, so you are funny. You are.
I think it's funny.
No, it's
I
not
think
funny.
it's funny only because as much as Jeff talked about me. Like,
you going hard. Hey, listen. I'm Lewis Dix, and that's the boss, the poetess, and then our young.
Social media strategist.
Yes, our young social media strategist. What's her name? Aman. That's a pretty name. Does it mean anything?
Smells it.
She smells it.
She
smells Aman.
Your nose distracted me. She spells it interesting.
How does she spell it?
Aumahn.
Oh, is that Muslim?
It can be. I say it is, but I say it's the name of the Kemetic deity.
Oh, who named you? Your mom? You didn't change it.
My mom kind of made it up.
Well, we got that part. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Okay, so back to Jeff. I know you're trying to avoid the situation, but it's pretty serious, Lou. Like,
okay, well, we're not going to put it
so
because we don't know the facts.
But why? Like,
Because
I'm kind of pissed off that you didn't tell me that this kind of shit was going on.
No,
like,
first of all, you sound like her now. I told you I'm shocked too, and I don't know. So first of all, take a step back. We don't know the facts. I just found out just like you found out. So I don't know, and I'm not going to speculate on someone.
Why would you put my business in jeopardy like that?
First of all.
Seriously.
Okay, seriously. Okay, I just told you.
Because that could have happened here in my studio.
Okay, but I just told you. What part are you guys not hearing that I did not know?
How do you not know that's your best friend?
Because I don't know. What part of I don't know are you guys not getting? He's a grown man. I'm a grown man. We're not in the same house. I could see you saying that. How did I not know that about Code 3 or my ex-wife that
I know,
I've been with?
but Jeff is your best friend.
That does not. I just told you.
You could have put my business in
I
jeopardy.
just told you I had nothing to do with what he's doing. So I did not put anything in jeopardy. Remove me from the equation because he's making his own decisions regardless of what it is. So I don't know how you can turn around and say, how did I put your business in? I just said.
Okay, so Sheena's my best friend. I would
Okay,
know
but I'm just telling
if
you.
she was dealing drugs.
Okay, he's not dealing drugs. I don't know. And first of all, my thing is I'm offended. The first fact, we don't know the facts. We don't know the facts. That's first of all. We don't know the facts. And second of all, I am not in control of that grown man, just like he's not in control of me if something came up with me. We don't know. Just like I would defend you and not want anyone to put your business out there if they didn't know.
I'm putting his business out there because he could have jeopardized my studio.
But I'm just saying you don't know if that's even true.
Well, why would she be calling me
Because
then?
she's crazy. That's her. Why would you trust? Okay, here's my thing. Why would you trust someone you don't even know?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you and see you. You okay?
Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you.
Oh, that shit talks this shit to
that's
me.
you funny. Uh-huh.
Okay.
I hear you.
But I called him crazy. Yeah, if that's what I was getting, yeah. If that's what I was getting, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stand. So all those times you talk about I don't have your back. I had your back. Now I knew something wasn't right. I'm like, all right, this is not April Fool's. Something's not right. And then Poetess gonna sit up here and start calling you out. And I'm like, let's not put this out there. It's not. No, that's my boy. I don't know him. I'm just no. And then Keith's calling me, and then she cussing me out, and Tiffany's cussing me out. I'm like, well, how you gonna cuss me out? I don't know no darn Yvonne. I don't know who that is. I'm telling her straight up. I'm like, then I'm trying to get calm. Like, all right, listen, let me tell you what I know. No, I don't need to hell know what you. I'm like, all right, you know what? You know what?
You know what the funny part is?
What?
Code 3 was in on it too.
See, that's what's wrong. See, and I called code 3. And I was like, because I was worried. Because first thing I was worried about was like, I ain't got no bail money. I'm like, he in there, and I'm like, all right. First of all, because when she called, because you hit me 3 times, I'm like, all right, he don't call 3 times. So that was the first thing. Then when she answered your phone, I'm like, she didn't shot him. That's the first thing I thought was she shot him. I was like, okay, she done something to him. So then when she said he and the feds knocked down the door, I'm like, feds knocked down the door. I'm like, no, he carry his money in plastic. Okay, so I'm trying to put, and then I'm like, okay, I just saw him Wednesday. Okay, I know it's okay. No, that's not him. That's not him. Okay, I'm not gonna believe that. Well, he got these feds, and who is Yvonne's? And I'm like, okay, why is she stuck on Yvonne?
You know what's funny is Lewis came in this morning and I was like, where's Jeff? He goes, well, his girl called me and she was talking about who is Yvonne. I said, damn, she was more concerned about Yvonne
and him being in jail
as opposed to him going to jail for drug trafficking.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, feds and knock down your door. And I'm like, what? I'm like, okay. What? And first of all, I'm like, okay, first of all, how's she in the crib and she don't know where the drugs are? So that's the first thing. So she dumber than dumb and she don't know where the drugs are.
Come on now.
No, I'm like, how's she not? And I'm like, she gonna get mad at me talking about I don't know what's going on.
Excuse me.
And then she called Daryl. She said, I talked to Daryl. And then I look at my phone and I don't have Daryl's number. Because I tried to call Daryl. So I'm like, I don't have Daryl's. I tried to call Jordan Butler, and I'm like, all right, so okay, Daryl, tell me the truth. She talked to Daryl. All right, cool. Then this is when I started believing her, when she cussed me out. It's like she don't even know me like that. She cussing me out, and y'all got his back. And I said, well, hold up, I'm the nice guy in this. I'm the nerd. I'm like, I don't do.
Oh wow.
And then I'm like, okay, Chicago. That's not Jeff. He's not trusting somebody.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna say this: the chat room takes their hats off to you, Lewis, because they felt like you really had Jeff's back through this whole prank.
Yeah, because I didn't believe. I'm like, I don't believe.
And for those who they're asking, well, why Jeff isn't in the studio? Jeff, you got your car stolen today,
my car was stolen this morning.
Now that's a problem. First of all, who would steal your car?
I know, it's
exactly.
That's the first one.
Exactly.
Well, hoopies are easy to steal.
Now that's
you can hotwire it.
I'm Tiffany. She had me because I'm like, all right, hold up. And then she had me the second time because the first time I'm like, because when I talked to Keith, I said, all right, Keith, I don't believe this. All right, so I said he did something else to make her mad, and she planted the drugs. I said she planted him. She took him out because she was like, I got a career. I was like, okay, so what? Y'all sell drugs. The airline people sell drugs. So then I'm like, okay, hold up, this is not right. So then I said, when I called code 3, I'm like, listen, this is what. I
think that's so cool that code 3 was in on it.
Yes, that's when she's in trouble because she said, oh yeah, I just looked it up and it's in the system and it's not good. So I'm like, well, what's going on? I can't tell you right now over the phone. I can only tell you in person. So it's not good. So I'm sorry. And I'm like,
no, I called her right after that. I called her and I was like, yo, you got to be in on this prank. And she like, okay. She like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. You just got to let them know that I got arrested with some weight. And she started laughing. She was like, okay. I said, but you got to be serious, though. You can't just give it. She said, no, I got you.
I'm like, I'm sitting here and then Then I come in and Poetess is hard, laughing. She can't wait to tell everybody. And I'm like, no, hold up. That's my boy. I'm not putting this business out there because he's going to get mad at me if we put it out there and it's not confirmed. And then I said, so, all right. Look, let's just, and then she just now she's gonna go off. No, in my business, and because Tiffany was doing the same thing. That's what got me.
But the thing with Tiffany, when I first asked her to do, yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Yeah, I said when I asked her to do it, she was nervous as hell. She was like, "No, he gonna snap on me." I'm like, "No, he ain't." I was like, "You just gotta be angry, gotta sound aggressive." She's like, "No, he gonna."
He put my career in jeopardy and then I'm saying to myself, I'm like, you ain't got no career. What you talking about? So I'm like, okay. So then I'm like, all right, I know why she mad. I said, she mad over Yvonne. So I said, I'm not getting through her because she's pissed. she's mad because I was like, he's supposed to love her, and that's his girl. He's calling her his wife. And then I'm like, how you gonna call her your wife? And then you do all that, Jeff, you stupid. And you got caught. And I was like, my God, then you would get handcuffs.
Tell us how you really feel, Lewis.
No, because when she got me, when I kind of believed her, when she said they took him out in handcuffs. And I was like, oh, that sounds real. They took him out in handcuffs. And I said they didn't let him take his phone. And then when I thought it was really kind of true, because you had the other phone. And I asked Keith about it. I was like, Keith, you gave him another phone. He got a burner phone? And I was like, that must be it. He got that fake phone, so that's the phone that they doing drugs on. And then I'm like, so I was like, and I said, look, Tiffany, I'm with, Jody, there's no way I'm going to do something, Well, yeah. And she sounds so real when she said,
no, that ain't what you said, though. You was like, oh, I have nothing to do with that. I got a career. It's like, I'm not about that life.
No, and I told Poetess that. I said, I'm a nerd. I said, I'm not. I said, and then Poetess was asking me, she said, how you don't know that your friend? I said, listen, every guy has secrets that their friend don't know. And then I corrected myself. I said, no, Jeff knows everything about me. I said, but there's certain things Jeff won't tell you. I said, but he could, if you ask Jeff anything about me, he could say yeah or no. And I said, so if you ask me about Jeff with drugs and cocaine, I'm saying no. That's not him. I just was not believe. Now, if it was my dad, I would have believed it. And that's hilarious. Sad. But no. But I'm so glad it's a prank. I was so scared because I was.
Did you believe it, or were you suspicious at all?
No, I believed it totally. I believed.
So you believed it when I was going off on you just
now?
Yes.
Yes. I thought you was tripping. I'm gonna be honest. I believed it because
I saw the emotions. You was like, you can't tell me this or that. I'm like,
because Tiffany never calls me, and when she said she had Jeff's phone, and I knew that she would be upset because they're on the right path, and I'm like, okay, this is because Jeff. I know how much Jeff loves her. First of all, he can act all hard he wants to. So I know because once I went in there and she had changed the color of his house I knew he was done. When I saw the house, he had different.
That's his trap phone ringing.
Yeah, that's so I knew he loved her because when I went in his house and I was like, oh, he done. He got she didn't. He had salmon. It was salmon.
Pink drapes and shit.
Yeah, it was salmon. I was like, oh, she done. She got him. And I remember getting got. I was like, all right, he's gotten. That's cool. I was happy that he's got. So then I when I also knew that they were in love when she was at the door taking the money for the show. Anytime a guy let a woman collect his money, he's done. So why would you do that?
We thought it was
you didn't come to the show last night, motherfucker.
Because how was the house?
It was light, but it was a great show, though.
Yeah, I knew you had. I wasn't filming. I knew I had a long day today. I had to go to. Did you go to the service?
No, they getting ready to do something now.
Okay.
So that had been bothering me too. But a lot of people from the dime, they came and we all needed that laugh together and all of that. So
that's funny because somebody said you look like you were sitting in front of a crack house.
Wow.
Okay, I have to say, okay, Tiffany.
You look like a crack house.
I have to say, okay, Tiffany, I will give it to you. You got me. You and Code 3's in trouble. You got me though, Tiffany. Because I truly believed you. You've missed your calling. I don't know.
You know what's funny though?
She is an actress.
What?
But you know what's funny though?
What?
I was listening to you when you was talking to Keith because Keith had his other phone, so I was listening on the speaker. She was listening too. So then I had to cut the phone off because I was like, "Oh, this nigga about to go into some shit." Because you was like,
I was
first
upset.
of all, this bitch called me about some shit and all this, and and I was like, "Oh shit."
I was matching her because she was calling me names. She was like, "You motherfuckers don't you." I'm here. I'm cussing you. Y'all all looking out for each other and all this. And so I thought you were done with her. I thought she was done with you. So I knew it wasn't no going back if you had got caught with some cocaine. So I figured it was all good because y'all wasn't getting back together. See, that's why you can't play pranks on people like that know you, because I thought the way she sounded, it was a rap. You messing up her life. She's got, and then I said, because that's what, all right, here it was. Poetess stopped me because I was about to send her a text.
Yeah, he was about to text
I
her.
was about to text her saying, I was about to text her because the last time I got off the phone with her, I was going to say, well, listen, if you really feel that way, just bring his keys and his phone to me, and then you can go back to Virginia. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, he was about to go in on her. I said, nah, don't do that. Don't do that.
Wait, because then I was like, all right, I was just hurt that you were in handcuffs, and she was more concerned about Yvonne.
Well, all the fans in the chat give you props because they said you really had Jeff's back. You didn't put it all out there.
No, I wasn't.
Like I did.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna put it out there because I knew he's not like that. He don't like people knowing his business. So I'm like, he'll never forgive me if I came on and talked about that because that was, no, because he don't play that. And then I was like, I ain't going, because he's always been on me about not having his back. And I'm like, okay, I got to have his back for the because I know he has mine. So I'm so glad it was a joke. Tiffany, you got me. I'm going to get you back. I don't know when I'm going to get you and Code 3.
But yeah, Code 3, she was the selling point though.
Yeah,
because when Lewis told me he called Code 3, I was like, oh shit, the joke's going to be ruined. But she was actually in a good thinking, Jeff.
Yeah, because I said,
what a way to set up.
I was like, okay, now I can find out for real how bad it is.
Because I didn't think of that. Like,
yeah, she's like, okay, I'm looking at the data, and her voice got really low. I'm looking at the database, and yes, he has been arrested, and it doesn't look good, babe.
Oh, she's great.
I said, what?
Shout out to Code 3 because she's the one that really brought the credibility to the prank.
Because I knew, because I was like, okay, the first thing he's gonna do, he's gonna call her.
Yeah,
he's gonna check with her, and I was like, all right, let me get in touch with her real fast. And I thought I got in touch with her, like talk to her. She said, I just hung up from him.
All right, well,
she's like, first of all, are you okay?
Aw, she's a sweetheart.
Okay, so now we got to go to dinner.
Wait, my thing is, that's kind of cool. Jeff has Code 3's number.
Well, ever since my hospital stay.
I got that by accident though. Yeah.
Yeah, and I got to get Daryl's number.
Good thing you had it.
So now we got to go to dinner, so we all can laugh at that.
But
we got to go to dinner.
But I called Daryl, but I called Daryl, and you know how nonchalant Daryl is.
What'd he say?
Daryl was like, yeah, all right, man. If the nigga called me, yeah, I'll go along with it. But I ain't calling him, though.
Oh, call.
I'm like, nigga, call. Oh, all right. Yeah. My cousin's so nonchalant. He's like, yeah, the nigga called me. Yeah. What you want me to say? Oh, never mind. Don't worry about it. So, but yeah, man, I'm good, though, man.
All
it's
right,
a good show.
I don't.
Jeff, did you get your car back?
No, I filed a police report. So my neighbor has a ring. So they're going through the video footage of it now.
You know what?
So because
they probably stole your car and they're gonna bring it back fixed up.
I hope so. Shit.
They're gonna pimp your ride.
Exactly. Do that.
Oh my!
But it was funny because when I went out for my run this morning at 6:30, it was there. And then when I came back in the house I came back about 8 o'clock. I went in for a few minutes. And then when I came back out, because I was going to get some on my car, and it was gone. I was like, what the fuck?
Well,
I don't know, man.
Tell Tiffany I didn't mean anything I said now that it's a joke.
Hilarious.
I love her. I'm glad she loves you, and I'm glad. But I don't understand why you would feel the need to do that prank.
Because that was funny.
Because funny. I was like,
and I could barely keep it together. I kept laughing. Like I can't act worth the shit.
No, I believe you.
Oh, you believed me?
Yes.
I was like, he didn't pick up at all, and I was like, okay. And I was, when it came to me when I was at the police station.
What? Oh, it did.
Because I knew the guy. I was like, yo, you should play a prank with me. And then he got busy. I was like, yo, man, just tell Lewis that I'm arrested. And then they got busy, and then I just filled the report. But that's what
he probably couldn't do that though. The cop probably couldn't go.
No, he was in on it. He was like, oh no, he's like, no, man, shit. No, I help you out. He's like, give me a second, give me a few minutes. So I was like, all right, cool. So, but then he just got too busy. So,
all right, well, I'm glad it was a joke because I was really worried about you, and because you are my best friend, and and you and Tiffany are important to me and Code 3. So I'm glad It wasn't that.
Oh, good.
But next time you call and say you in jail, you on your own. Because I'm gonna say, no, ain't true. It's a prank. All the way till I see you on trial. Oh, they still going with this prank. I'm like, hey.
There you go.
No, all
All
right,
right.
man, I love you, man. Be careful.
All right. I'll see y'all next week.
Okay. Well, no, you got it next week. You and Dannon, because I won't be here. So y'all got to do the show.
Okay.
No,
All right.
Yeah. All right. Later. Bye, Tiffany.
That was a good one.
That was a good one. That was a good one. That was. I have to give you. That was a good one. You played the because I thought. I really thought, I'm like, she really, because you know what, when you sold it, when you said, well, he was talking about me, and then he was talking about me, and I was like, okay, yeah, she want to put his business out there.
Yeah, so I had it because he kept saying, tell him, he kept saying, say that, like, say that he was arrested for drugs. And so, but you kept shutting me down, and he's watching the show the whole time.
I didn't, that is crazy.
He was watching the show the whole time, like, damn, he don't want to talk about it. And then I was like, I keep getting these calls, like, from old girl.
Right.
Tiffany.
Right. Okay, so that's what got, yeah.
And so I was like, okay, well, let me just keep on trying to. And then I was like, oh, she just told me he in for drugs. You finna put my shit in jeopardy?
Right. And that's what I was like, oh, then I was like, okay, yeah, she on one. She crazy. She tripping. And he right, because when I was talking to Keith, I was going on. Yeah, when I was, man.
I can't believe you really did not. So you were fooled. We got you.
Yes, because it was her when she called. She was selling it. I didn't,
Somebody said, tell Jeff that Code 3 got his car impounded as a counter joke. It's part of the whole joke.
Yeah, and Code 3 sold it too, because when she said that, I was like, what?
I got a whole new level of respect for Code 3 now.
Yeah,
she with it. I love it.
Yeah, she was down. She was down.
That was funny because she played it like
Yeah.
I looked up in the
database and this, honey, I can't talk right now about it. I'll talk to you when we get home. I'm really sorry for your friend. That's what got me when she said that. I'm really sorry for your friend.
Were you worried about Jeff at all?
Yes, very much. I mean, 'cause she said it doesn't look good. And I'm like, man, don't look good. Okay, so yeah, that's the part that got me. I was just worried. I was like, my God, I hope he's, I just knew he wasn't. He was on the right track. You got your people on the right track. Like
And why would he do something like that?
Yeah, and then you said, well, that nigga, you start. I was like,
yeah, because I had to make it seem like fuck Jeff. Nah, Jeff's my dude though.
Yep.
It's all good. That was funny. He came up with the idea. He called me before you even got here and was like, look, my car got stolen, but we gonna do this. And I was like, okay. But the twister is that he called Code 3. Yeah. So I was like, wow, that puts the whole icing on the cake.
For him to go to all that trouble and do that was, he thought, he wanted to get me bad. I ain't never pranked him like that, so I don't know why he wanted. It made my day, though. That made my day.
All right, it's Super Bowl weekend. Shout out to the Rams, although I'm a 49er fan, but I'm here in L.A., so I'm going to go ahead and root for the Rams. And plus, OBJ is the finest man in the NFL. So
hilarious. Well,
enjoy watching him.
I like L.A. to be happy, so I hope the Rams win. And
I hope the Rams win. I do.
And Eagles.
Because they say the Bengals haven't won in 30 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they haven't won in a long time. No, they've never won.
What?
They've never won the Super Bowl. No, they've never won the Super Bowl.
But they've gone to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they went in, I think, like
30 years.
Yeah, about 83, maybe 80-something.
All right. Well, shout out to everybody that's listening. Have an excellent weekend, and we'll see you guys.
Wait. Give them that number again. I have it. I wrote it down.
What number?
If you're feeling any way, because they say that.
Yeah, the suicide prevention.
Yeah, it's 1-800-273-8255. 1-800-273-8255. If you're feeling lonely because your friends at Super Bowl or anything like that, and you just feel you need to talk to someone.
Yeah, no matter how down and out you are, there is somebody out there that loves you and Man, it's just one of the most heartbreaking things when you lose someone to suicide, because a lot of people they take the responsibility for it. So
Yeah.
please, if you're feeling down, keep listening to us. We're going to cheer you up. If it's deeper than that, then you go ahead and call that number.
Yeah, please do. Thank you. All right, boss. We're out.
All right, y'all have a good weekend, and we'll see you next week. Peace.